All right, on this episode of the LPDS, we get into some LPDS universe updates, Sticks updates in the world of Sticks as well in the LPDS universe. We can take some hotline calls. I go off about some concerns I have with Hallmark Christmas movies now in the Junction. I also don't talk about sports. I don't talk about the Giants stinking it up, even though they got rid of their coach. Even after I said that their coach, it was not the real issue. I don't talk about Brian Cashman being a bonehead with that qualifying offer to Trent Grisham. I don't talk about any of that. We just get down into the business this time. And of course, we have a nice little Cage fact for you. All that coming up right now. Jabronis, we're back. Welcome back to Libretti Podcast Diary Show. I'm your host, Libretti, show that talks about nothing but tries to find the lessons in everything. We have a good time doing it. Hope everybody had a good week. I am dealing with a multitude of issues between the VA and government and finance stuff and disability stuff. I'm not going to get into it, mainly because it's ongoing, and also because I vented about it in private to my dog, to Randy, and I don't want to bring the negativity here right now. If there's a real story, a real outcome, I'll bring it to the people, but I'm dealing. All I have to say about this is, if this is how they run things, if this is how the government runs things, I would like to abolish the government. I would like to get a petition going to abolish the entire government, because it is an absolute joke. Anybody who wants more government ownership, more government oversight into our lives, I'll never understand it. I'll never get it. Just go to a DMV. Now imagine that at the grocery store every day, at every doctor's office that you go to. Post office is already basically like that. Dealing with landlords and property managers. Just imagine the DMV. Go to the New Jersey DMV, the Wayne, New Jersey DMV. Go to that one and sit there for an hour. Try to get help with something. Renew your license or whatever. Go there. Now imagine that as your entire existence in life. As soon as you leave your house, which we won't own, because the DMV will own it at that point. That's what it's like. So when people say they want more, they want the government to take over, they want to regulate this and this, this is why I am so anti that. Because that's what we're going to get. We're going to have, they just compound your problems in your life. And we're all going to have problems in our lives, folks. We all know that. Things are going to happen. But at least there is a portion of things within our control to be able to handle those problems. Okay? If everything is run by the government, forget about the control. The control is now gone, because nothing you can do will get them to change the way that they put things in place, which is 99.9% of the time the worst, most inefficient, most dastardly bullshit way to put things in place. So that control will be gone. So again, the only lesson that I have is I I want to abolish the government. It's not even a lesson. It's a new goal unlocked here. Now for protection purposes, let's just put that out there in case the FBI or somebody else is listening in. We're joking here, folks. Okay? Don't kill me. Don't delete my YouTube page, my Spotify's. The 16 people who like this show will be very disappointed if you do that. But we're just having fun here, folks. So I'm not suicidal. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that situation for now. Um, I I'm in a it's not a predicament. I'm in a sad state of affairs right now. Last week, I stupidly just willed it into existence, I think. But last week, I told you about my fingernail was loose and that I didn't, I wasn't going to pull it off because I didn't want to be a fingernailless freak with a nub. Well, gone. If you're looking in YouTube land, trying to get it zoomed in here, but that pointer finger, no nail. Gone. I didn't feel anything really. It was a little weird. I didn't feel any pain because it was already off the skin and loose. But I put my hand in my pocket and it got caught on the pocket. See ya. And now I've become the very thing I've sought to destroy for years now. I have one of my fingers is just the nub on the hoof of Weasley Matt Steele. That's what it looks like. One of his claws, one of his little hoofed talons. Like my hand now feels, because I'm looking at it, it looks and feels like a Oswald Cobblepot claw, a little nubby, grotesque, nasty little hoof hand that I got. Like a Davids-esque, Corey Davids, Weasel Steel-esque little hoof. The two greatest enemies of the universe here, and I have become that. What is this saying from Batman, from the Dark Knight? You either die the hero or you live long enough to become the villain. Well, I've become the villain I sought to destroy for so long with this disgusting thing. It reminds me, some of you, actually, I don't even know who listens to this anymore. Some of you may remember this if you went to high school with me. We had a gym teacher, Mr. Mielko. Shout out Mr. Mielko. He's definitely not listening to this. He was our gym teacher and track coach. Real character. I won't get into all the details of his character arc. We could do a whole mini series on him for sure. But he lost part of his finger in some accident. I don't even know what happened. It was already gone when I was in high school. He was nubbed up. It was the top tip at the top little mini knuckle here was gone, and he had a little nub there, and it looked like if you were chewing a piece of gum and then put that piece of gum on top of a straw, like that little ball, like a little weasel steel hoof. Like he's got the little top round little paws there. That's what it looked like, a little nub paw. That's what it feels like, because he had no nail, obviously. He had the scars from the surgery to flap the skin over the nub. But that's what this feels like. It's a very strange feeling. I feel like a freak, and now I'm fighting with every ounce of my being to not let that feeling seep into everything else going on in my world. I have to maintain my confidence and my stability and pushing forward with my goals and stuff. But it's very difficult when just by touching it on something, because it feels so weird and so strange that it's exposed, it immediately makes me think, oh yeah, that's right, you're a freak now. You're a weirdo little freak. And I had to snap at him. I had to fight my inner bitch, my inner beta bitch boy, to stop talking like that. But it's very hard. I blame myself. I mean, obviously the injury was self inflicted. Out of what the hell is the word I'm thinking of? Well, lack of alertness, I guess. Lack of preparation. I don't know, but it was my fault. And then talking about the fear of being a nailless, hoof fingered freak, willed it into existence. So handout, that's all on me. I get it. So that's where I'm at with that. I'm fighting through it. Thank you for your condolences. Please don't defriend me. As much as I would understand if my friend came to me and they were like, "Hey, I got a nub now. I am now 1/10 closer to looking like LPDS Public Enemy number one, Oswald Cobblepot," I would be hesitant to maintain that friendship with that person. The first thing I would think, I would be like, should I stay his friend? So I completely understand if you want to defriend me. All I'm asking you to do is take an LPDS step back and stay strong and know that this is just a temporary situation, and the freak nub will be normal again. And that's all I got to say about that. For some good news, which I did not mention, I neglected to mention the last episode because it happened 2 weeks ago now. Mainly because I was just so heated, and I probably should. I forgot because of the heatedness, and I should have wrote it down so I can remember. But we reached a milestone in Sticks that we will never top. Not that we want, not that I don't want to try to top it again. But the Sticks crew, myself, Creature, Wet Cat, Catwoman, made it through 100 rounds of zombies in Call of Duty Black Ops 6. As you mostly all know, some of you don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. Sticks is the video game Sticks and crew that we get on regularly. It's our chance to shoot the shit and stay connected, but we're also hitting sticks and shooting zombies and killing guys and stuff. And we've been doing this for years. This is our bar scene. This is going, instead of going out to a bar, a watering hole, we we log in. We sticks up. Get our headsets on. We get our command centers all set up with the appropriate amount of cheese and water and snackies, and then we're ready to rock and roll. And we always joked about we got to get to round 100. We play one level. We played all the levels basically for the secret missions that Zombies offers, which I'm a fan of the secret missions. But once you're done with the secret missions, that's it. Then I just want to go back. I have my own missions, killing as many zombies as possible, collecting salad, which is in the game. It's the green stuff that you can buy gifts with, and those gifts allow you to kill more zombies. You can get little vault keys to go into a vault and get more gifts to kill more zombies. That's what it's about. The big three in sticks for me, and I think I could speak for Creature on this as well, is get salad, get keys, vault keys to get gifts to kill more zombies. That's the three. Salad and keys, gifts, zombies. So we always joked after we finished these secret missions, wow, what if we got to round 100? Like that's what we're gonna do. Tonight is the night. We're gonna go to round 100. And now, if you actually play the game, as you increase in rounds, the rounds take significantly longer to complete because there's more zombies. They get stronger and faster. You get weaker. Your gun power, your speed, your abilities are all get capped at a certain level. No matter what gifts you have, no matter what accessories you are able to buy and upgrades and power drinks and perks and what have you, there's a ceiling for you, and the ceiling for the zombies is much higher. It goes up to, like, they don't stop advancing until round 55. We stop advancing at about round, I'd say 25, because that's when the final like perk drink gift upgrade opens up for us to purchase. And I know this sounded very nerdy and strange. Just stay with me. So as we get through the first 20, 25 rounds pretty quickly. Maybe that takes an hour tops, unless we're grab-assing with side quests, side missions. But after that, we're looking at, 3-minute rounds become a 5-minute round, become a 10-minute round, become a 15-minute round, become a 25-minute round. And and the joke goal was always to get through 100. But once you reach level 30, those rounds take forever. From basically from around 1 to 30, hour and a half, breeze through them. From 30 to 40, that's another hour. Especially if you do side quests, that's another hour. So we try to keep it tight. We can do that level. We could get to around 45 in an hour, from 30 to 45 in about an hour if we're keeping it tight. And when everything is going our way. We have all the gifts we need. We have all the upgrades we need. We're getting all the secret gifts that pop up randomly. They're all the right random ones that pop up when we need them. Things are going our way. We can get through that 15-round clip in about an hour. But after that, it is a slugfest. And we've been playing this game for a year. And the farthest we've ever got as a team, as a foursome, I think was like 66, round 66 was the farthest we've gotten. One time, Creature and I played a duels match, a duo, and we got to round 76. Actually, I got booted from the game. My Xbox crapped out, and I got disconnected from the game, and Creature had to finish like the last 5 or 6 rounds himself to get to 76 even. Because it's just too many zombies. It gets too crazy, and it becomes a time thing. We don't start until late at night. 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Eastern, depending on our schedules. So we're not sitting up all night like we know. Like, we could technically do it, but are we going to want to sit up until 4 or 5 in the morning doing it? And then we have the little instigating jokes and texts from the Wet Cat. Basically, every week, it's the same scenario. We get a text from the Wet Cat. It goes, round 100 this week, boys? We're like, sure, yeah. We know we're never going to do it. So we're like, yep, round 100. We get to our time. Usually it's Wednesday is our day that we're all together. And again, 9 o'clock p.m. is the earliest we can start. 9 Central is usually the earliest we can start. So we have to all be on by 9. Dogs taking their nightly dumpies. Our command centers are all ready, and we have nothing else go. Like, that's it. And it never happens that way. Somebody's like a late shift at work. I take forever to eat dinner. I eat dinner late, so I take forever, and so it's always there's always a delay or a reason why it's never a 9 o'clock p.m. on the dot start. And then people get tired. Like we always say, oh yeah, we're gonna we'll come on after work after our shift, and then you come on and you're like, damn, I just worked. It was a crazy shift today at work or whatever, and I'm dead tired. Or I got my shift changed for the next day tomorrow, so now I have to get up early tomorrow, so I can't like. There's always something going on. Plus, we also know we're not going to stay up until 4 or 5 in the morning just to hit this milestone. So if we start at 9 p.m., we know we're not going. So we let the text message jokes happen. Round 100, yep, you got it. Wednesday comes, round 50 rolls around. Yeah, you want to go to round 55 and call it a day? Yeah. 56, round 51, 56, whatever. Yeah, okay, cool. See you next week. Well, 2 weeks ago, we got the text. Round 100, fellas? Yep. No problem. We got it. We log on. Now here's where things really got shameful for me. Okay? And I'm gonna try to share this quickly because I got a lot of stuff to cover in this episode. This might be a long one. Maybe not. Hopefully not. That night was also the night that my cousins were staying over from Austin, Texas. Now they're my second cousins. They're my dad's cousins. They're JPL3's cousins. They're like my aunt and uncle almost. So we're talking to real adults in their 70s. Adults. They go to bed early. So it was not so much of an issue for me to get on at the normal time on a Wednesday, but they go to bed early. I'm trying to keep it down because they're sleeping. They have to be up early for the stuff that they were doing in town the next morning. And they were going to bed at like 8, 9 p.m. to wake up at between 4, 5. I think my one cousin, she woke up at 4. The other one, he got to sleep until 7 a.m. All right. So in my head, I'm like, yeah, okay. So I'll stay up for the normal few hours that we stay up hitting sticks. I'll be in bed. I'll be out by 7, normal, like every other Wednesday night for me. In bed by 1, up by 7 to 8 a.m. That's what it is. Well, we start Stixing. They're in bed. I got the headset on so they can't hear. It's not too loud. And then, round 50 comes around. And then round 55 comes around. Now, in zombies, every 5 rounds, they open up an escape for you. An exfiltration, if you will. That's what they call it. So that you can leave the game so you don't have to die to leave the game. You can just leave the game alive, and you call it a win, as opposed to dying and going until you die. It starts after round 5, so round 6 is the exfil round, and then every 5 after that. So it goes on the 1s and 6s. So round 50 is usually when we look and we're like, do we want to stay till 56 or do we want to get out in 51? So round 50 comes, nothing. Round 55 comes, and we're like, do we want to get out at 56 or do we want to stay till 61? And they're not saying a word. And usually what happens is, even if nobody's saying anything, somebody can go and hit the exit button as like a silent, passive aggressive, like, hey, getting late. So are we should we have the conversation now? Should we vote on getting out or what? So that's what I did. And the wet cat pushed back and he goes, no, we're going around 100. And everybody usually is like, yeah, right, we're not. Let's go to 61 here, whatever. And then we vote and we leave and we're good to go. But for whatever reason, I had to be the bad guy. And I had to verbally push back. And I think I even said it too. You can ask the creature to verify, but I'm pretty sure I said, like, am I going to be the asshole here? Because I know you're all thinking it. So one of you said I'm tired about 5 rounds ago. The other one said I ran out of snacks about 2 rounds ago. Everyone's getting, mutilated out there. It's late. And this is possibly the worst night for me to actually care about going 100 rounds and zombies, because I will absolutely still be awake when my family wakes up at 4:30 in the morning looking at me like, what are you doing? And I said, I'm going to be the a-hole that is saying I don't want to do this. And that's what I said. I don't want to do this tonight. This is not the night that I wanted to do this. And they made their jokes. Well, we said it in the text. We were going to go for around 100. And we pushed back. We always say that. And we just kept pressing. And I kept bitching and complaining. But I never quit. I just kept going. But in my head, when I tell you I've never felt more embarrassed and shameful about something that's going, like, that could happen in the future, I guess that's what anxiety is. Like, all I can think about, and I would mute my headset. I would put my mic up so I can just stew in peace. And I would just sit there, and in my head, I'm just thinking, like, this is the worst night to do this, because this will be the most embarrassing thing. And all I kept thinking about was, like, what's going to happen when one of them walks out? What am I going to say when they walk out and see me still here at 4:30 in the morning on a Wednesday night, Thursday morning, middle of the week? And I guess my silence raised some questions with the team, because they're like, "Hey, Sargi, are you there?" And I lost it. Like, between the tiredness, the fatigue, and the shame, like the preemptive shame and embarrassment that I might have to deal with if we don't get this done in time. Because that's what I was thinking in my head. Like, oh, well, we got to find ways to speed up these rounds. And there are ways you can do. You can call these weird timeouts. You can use different gifts, whatever, to try to speed up these rounds so that we can get done before 4 a.m. So that I can at least pretend to be sleeping. I can go hide in my room with the dog when they wake up, and they'll be none the wiser. So that's what was going through my head, plus all the stewing and the shame and embarrassment, and the fatigue was bad. So it was getting, when you're super tired, things are different. You can't function at the same optimal levels. And then when they were like, "What are you are you still with us? Did you fall asleep on us?" And I just word saladed out my feelings, whatever was in my brain at the time. I was just like, yeah, I'm still fucking here. I'm not going to quit, but I don't have to like being here. I'm not going to quit, but I don't have to like being up and doing this, because what's going to happen. They're going to walk out here at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still playing, and they're going to be looking at me like, this 39-year-old man, this adult, spends his nights, his weeknights, his school nights, instead of working on his business. He's supposed to be running a business. He keeps talking about he's always busy running his business, and this guy is spending most of his time playing video games like a child, up all night. He can't even get himself to bed during the week and be disciplined and an adult. And then they're going to tell my parents about this, and then my parents are going to make me sell my house and come move back home, because obviously I'm not an adult. I can't take care of myself. I can't do shit. I'm sitting up playing video games like a child, so I'm going to have to live in my parents' basement and think about what I've done. And I went off. And they're crying, laughing, and I'm laughing. It is a whole funny situation. I was certainly never mad at them. It was just the whole perfect storm of the whole situation of what was going on that I just snapped. Absolutely snapped. And I like to think that I was the sacrificial lamb because I have to imagine they were all close to snapping in their own right too. Because as we kept going through the rounds, more zombies were coming. They were taking longer to kill. We were going down. We were doing everything was breaking. The ship was breaking apart, and we were doing everything we could just to keep going a little bit longer. And I know some of us somebody else was going to snap. It was only a matter of time. So I wasn't like, I'll do it. I'll take the heat. I'll be the guy. And I lost my shit. Now, I didn't do it for that reason. I did it because I had no control. Because I lost my shit. I snapped. But because I'm the first, I think that brought maybe a little bit of levity to the situation. We got out a real good laugh. I'm crying, laughing. We're all crying, laughing at me. I laugh at myself all the time. I don't mind it. I prefer people making fun of me. It's funny to me if the jokes are good. And I think that cooled us down enough to finish the fight. And we got it. We got to round 100. And then round 101, we exfiltrated. And we did it. Now, was the shame and embarrassment still there? Yeah, because guess what the hell happened? We're at round 99, and my family wakes up. And there's my aunt looking at me. And I straight up lied to her. In my sleepless, angry, embarrassment stupor, straight up lied to her. Said, nah, I had a headache and I couldn't sleep, so I took some Advil, so I'm waiting for the Advil to work. I got my friends that came off a night shift, so we're just catching up and shooting the shit on night shift here. And then I'm going to go back to sleep, try to sleep a couple hours. Don't worry. Don't worry. I wasn't up all night as a 39-year-old supposedly adult man playing video games with his friends on a school night. I wasn't doing any of that. Coffee pot's ready. You just got to plug it in. I had a Farberware for her ready. And I'll be out of your hair in 2 rounds or whatever. Straight up lied. Then I straight up lied to my parents about it too. They asked me, how was it? How was the visit? Everything good? Like, yeah, but couldn't sleep. So I was up all night, blah, blah, blah. This and that happened. And I hope they didn't think I was up all night because I certainly wasn't. The one thing I wasn't doing was being up all night. And I just straight up made up a story and told as many people as possible so that the word around the family, water cooler, if you will, was my propaganda story, my narrative, so it couldn't be confused. Even if they said something different, I think he might have been up all night. Well, I already heard from Joey that he wasn't up all night. He had a headache and he woke back up. So whatever you were thinking is probably not correct because he already said to us when we asked him this, and like I was covering all the bases as much as I could. And that guilt collapsed me in and of itself. I couldn't even do that anymore. So I just stopped. And I was just like, whatever happens now, happens. If I have to sell my house because they think nobody in my family thinks I could take care of myself, then so be it. It was a good run. I'll go make sure I drive past the creature's house on my way back home on my drive of shame, and I'll give him a hug, and I'll tell him to stay strong as I will now be trying to stay strong myself in my parents' basement forever. But I will not. I couldn't live with the guilt of lying anymore. I just had to come. I didn't actively come clean with everybody with a big press conference, but I just stopped the charade. Because it was a big deal for us. It just happened to be on the worst possible night ever. And I know everybody else was feeling some sort of internal embarrassment or shame of being like, yeah, I have to go to work the next day. What am I going to tell them when I'm tired? Oh, I was up playing video games till 5 in the morning with my friends. Like I know there was a little bit of that going on internally with all of us, certainly me, but it was just the worst possible night. I wish there was. I wish we did it at a time where we all could have enjoyed it more. We always talked about we'll start sticks earlier on so that we can actually get done at a reasonable time. And we always talk about when our schedules align where we can all start earlier in the day and work through it. And we just decided we're going to start at 10 p.m. Central Time, so 11 p.m. Eastern, and just that's when it's going to be done. And now you got family over that wakes up early, and it's gonna ruin your reputation forever within your family. Whatever, we're still going to do it. Oh, you're going to be embarrassed to go into your, go to your job the next day and have to tell everybody on shift why you're so tired. Too bad, we're doing it. It was the perfect storm of shit. But in all that shit, in that shit storm, was that the light of victory. 100 rounds. We thought it couldn't be done, and we did it, and it will never be done again. It'll never be done again. It was an exhausting endeavor on all levels. But what a ride. What an absolute ride. So shout out to the Styx crew for that one. I do wish this is again. I wish I was rich enough to have somebody, a camera guy, or my camera set up to capture those moments, because man, was some of that stuff funny. So anyway, that's all I gotta say about that. Moving on, real quick. We got some hotline calls I want to get to, and then we'll get to the junction. So let's see what we got in the hotline here. Gonna switch my mic real quick, and then we'll pop on these calls.
Yep. I'm calling to tell you I do not want to be mocked. Do not mock me. Do not hate.
All right, there's a 7-Eleven guy. Thank you for the call. I'm going to leave it up to the junction. I need comments. Somebody please remind me to put a poll up on like Instagram or Facebook to get your take on 7-Eleven guy. Like him, hate him. I still need more. That was too quick of a call. I need more. I need to get inside this guy's head a little bit more. I want to know what's going on in there. The accent still stinks. I love it. It stinks. I want to get what your thoughts on it. Look, I know we're gonna hate some of these people calling in, thinking that they're doing maybe they know that they're doing bad impressions. Maybe they think their impressions are spot on. I don't know. Regardless, I keep coming with that, because even if it's stinky and you think it's good, hopefully you don't feel bad when I roast the hell out of you for a bad impression or a bad joke or a bad bit. But that's what we live for. I want that shit. I want the good, the bad, the ugly from the hotline. So keep them coming. I want to get the thoughts of the Junction, the LPDS universe, to find out if you like that stuff, if you like 7-Eleven guy, if you want more of him, if you think he stinks. Even if you think he stinks, I still want more, because I like that. I like the stink sometimes. Anyway, thanks for the call, 7-Eleven guy. Terrible 7-Eleven guy. Anyway, let's go on to the next call.
Oh, hi, buddy. It's me, Mickey. I just want to know why people don't like me. I think we need to maybe not talk so much shit. Anonymously.
All right, Mickey. Thanks for the call there. I think you're referring to the LPDS universe, the fans telling me in like a DM or a text that you're shit, but they're not putting it in the comments of like the YouTube or anything. Is that what you're talking about? You want them outed? I'm not going to out them. I always protect, the identities of the LPDS universe. But I can see your point. I can see your point. You want to face your enemies, your haters, man to man, woman to man, woman to mouse, whatever. Um, I could tell you this. I think you stink. I always liked Donald Duck better anyway. So if you have a Donald Duck character, you can bring him into the mix. I'd prefer that, even if it's not a good impression. I always hated Mickey. I think he's a creep and he stinks. I think he stinks more than 7-Eleven guy stinks. But that's coming from me. I can't speak for the fans. If the LPDS fans are hating anonymously, they're gonna have to reconcile with themselves on whether they want to be public about it. I do know this. I haven't gotten any positive feedback on Creep Mickey. So so you got a big hill to climb to get over that hump of hatred, if you will. But anyway, thanks for the call. We got one more quick call here, and then we'll move on to the good stuff. So.
Brother, it's the Bone Crusher. I had a couple topics I was hoping to get your thoughts on an upcoming LPDS episode. First, Mrs. Bone Crusher and I watched the Paul Walker documentary that came out in 2018. We'd love to hear your thoughts on that conspiracy, as well as your thoughts on the new HBO documentary, Alex vs. A-Rod. Would appreciate your feedback and your thoughts on these topics. Bone Crusher out.
All right, Bone Crusher. Great call. Thank you for that. Hope all is well with you and Mrs. Bone Crusher over there in the Maryland, D.C. area. First things first, I haven't watched the A-Rod stuff yet. I'm kind of like, I'm going to watch it. There's people I've talked to already that refuse to watch it because they're anti-A-Rod and because he did steroids, he's a cheater, and I don't screw around with cheaters like that. I think my stance on the whole steroids thing. Yeah, it's technically cheating. My issue is the lying about it after you get caught. Now, A-Rod came clean. Like the first time he got caught, he tried to say, I didn't know I was just being given supplements. I didn't know there was anything banned in there. But then the second time, he's like, yeah, hand up. I did it. I was doing it, and you got me. So I don't care if I think everybody's on something in the league, and I don't give a shit. It doesn't make you a better baseball player. I've heard this argument. I consider it to be mental gymnastics, but I've heard this argument about, well, if they were taking steroids since high school, now they're getting different opportunities from different colleges and different openings that other kids who are not taking steroids are never going to get, and that could advance their development. So even though it doesn't technically make you a better ball player, it opens up those opportunities that do make you a better ball player, and that's why they got to where they are. That to me, I don't think the people that said that to me are losers per se, but that's a loser. That's loser thinking. That's sore loser thinking in my mind. Because there have been plenty of people who took steroids in high school who we don't know about because they never made it to the show or whatever sport that they played and took steroids for, never made it past, like whatever. So to me, that's a moot point. Again, I think you're really grasping at straws because it's no guarantee. Just because you get the opportunity doesn't mean you're going to actually improve. People have talent ceilings and their athletic abilities get capped. Look at Anthony Volpe. To me, he's a perfect example. Steroids will never make him, like, his talent is capped. Last year, I think, was a little bit of a bad. Sorry, I got a bug here that I'm dealing with. Was a little bit of a bad showing because he was also in a really bad slump mentally. But his first 2 years with the team, he's average at best. He's capped. His talent is capped. Making him stronger with steroids, he might get a couple more home runs, maybe, but he's not going to become a better. He's not going to have less errors. He's not going to bat for a higher batting average. He's just not his talent was capped. So it doesn't matter what opportunities, it's grasping. That argument is grasping, and long story longer, I have no problem watching the A-Rod documentary, even though he got caught cheating. I don't that doesn't affect me. People are refusing to watch it just because of that. I think that's a sore loser mindset. Just put your hand up and be like, I was not good enough to make the show. It didn't happen for me. Even if you were talent wise, it just didn't happen for me, and that's that. But trying to justify hating a guy because he got a chance that I didn't get, and there was all these other reasons why I didn't get this show. Look at me. I could technically make that same argument. Oh yeah, I didn't take steroids in high school, so that means I didn't get big enough and strong enough to start on my high school team, so the colleges didn't look at me. So I had to walk on at some non-D1 school and never played there because I never had the opportunities from high school on because I didn't take steroids, and that's why I didn't get into the show, and they didn't play me, and that's no. I'm 5'7" on a good day. My talent and strength are capped at below pro level abilities. And it has had nothing to do with the fact that there were guys who took steroids in high school. We played against multiple people at different schools in my high school level that were saucing up. Brian Cushing is one that I remember distinctly because a lot of people know Brian Cushing because he ended up playing the NFL for a number of years, and eventually his career ended because he was getting busted with steroids and doing bad stuff, and he had a shorter career because of it. But Brian Cushing, we played against him in baseball, and he was so big. He couldn't throw a ball. His arms were too big to even actually have a good motion to throw a ball. And guess what? We beat the shit out of his high school baseball team. Not their football team. He crushed in football. Maybe you can make that sore loser argument about opportunities in football for steroid use. I don't know. Not so much, though, because steroid use is a lot less frowned upon in football than it is in baseball, even though it's still technically banned. But we played against those guys. Okay? And they're not the reason I didn't make it to the show. And they're not the reason you didn't make it to the show. So just watch the documentary. If you like baseball, in my opinion, you should be interested in something like this because he's a big name figure. He's a controversial figure because he got busted for steroids. And he is on the bad list. He's on the banned list from the Hall of Fame. But he was also arguably the best shortstop in baseball. Regardless of steroids or not, that didn't make him that good of a shortstop. And I don't care about the mental gymnastics of, well, he had the opportunities and this and that. No, shut up. Loser talk. So I do absolutely want to watch that documentary to learn about his side of the story. I've read books about him and his shitty persona and his shitty ways and all this stuff, but nobody ever interviewed him and got his take. So I am curious. So I will absolutely watch that. Again, long story longer. I have not seen it yet. I'll watch it when I'm home and I get on my parents' HBO over the holidays, over Christmas and winter when I go back up to the motherland, or when they make me sell my house and move home. I'll watch it then, and I'll report back what I thought of it. Um, but yeah, so to your next question, man, this is gonna be a long episode. Sorry, folks. um, I have not watched that Paul Walker documentary, but I am familiar with the Paul Walker conspiracy. And unfortunately, it's tough to find information on how that even came about because it gets snuffed out on the internet. And this to me, when I'm doing my tinfoil hats, searches and stuff, when something is so snuffed out of the regular internet, like standard Google, whatever searches, Yahoo searches, Reddit pages, whatever, just the standard stuff that most people do these days, ChatGPT or Google. When something is so hidden and so difficult to find on from those normal avenues, that makes my senses, peak a little bit more. My radar goes up a little bit more, whereas like that's weird. That there's not like usually when something is either not really a conspiracy or it's already been proven one way or another, there'll be articles and op-ed pieces and forum pages and blog posts about it saying, yeah, we heard about this too, but here's why it doesn't make any sense, or actually this is true, but here's why it's not a big deal. Like it's people's opinions on the internet publicly talking about it. When something is so quiet and it's so tough to find on regular ChatGPT or Google, that's when I start to like something is definitely fishy here. So the information I've heard was that Paul Walker did not die in an accident. He was killed in a car crash. And I don't know if they like blew the car up or cut the brakes or whatever it was. But the story is that he was big on humanitarian aid. And I think that's in the 2018 documentary that Bone Crusher watched. So he was down in Haiti after their thing. They had that storm years ago. I forgot what year, 15, 16, 17, something like that. 17, I don't know. And the story is that he saw some child trafficking stuff going on tied to prominent people, similar to the Epstein stuff, similar people, that same world, the Clintons were, I think that was like one of the big names, was like Clinton was doing something dastardly down there with the trafficking. And him and the Linkin Park guy, the singer from Linkin Park who supposedly killed himself, Chad Bennington, I forgot his name. And then like two other guys. There was another singer or band member, same fate, died. And then Anthony Bourdain too was also like a witness of something in the same realm. Not in the Haiti situation, but the story with Bourdain was that he was the witness of like that congressman or whatever, Adam Schiff, that sleazeball from California, was doing something with this drugged up kid in a hotel, and Bourdain was the witness. And before he can actually go to trial and testify or give his official statement, then he died of apparent suicide in Paris, even though he was on vacation with his fiance and she was supposed to be with him the whole time. So all those four are tied together because of the child stuff going on with these prominent political figures and celebrities and what have you. And the story is that these guys were going to go and they were all getting ready to out the situation, and then they all magically passed away within a year of each other. And now the story's dead. That's all I heard. There is no information as to why somebody like how that even started. That story started. There is no paper trail that I can find just yet of like, oh, see, this is what he saw and this is what he was going to expose. I don't even know how the thing started, how that conspiracy theory started because it's been snuffed out. I haven't been able to find it yet. I haven't done enough digging on it because I've been busy, but it is wild. There's also, you can do some deep dives on the other singers. The Linkin Park guy, there's always been a conspiracy around him while he was alive, that he was the illegitimate son of that one guy, John Podesta. When Podesta was sleeping around, he was at this base. Was the base in Canada? It was like a base in Canada in Lincoln Park. It was like the Lincoln Park base, and that's why they named the band Lincoln Park, because he was born there and no father or whatever. I don't know the whole story there, but he's been linked to he's supposedly John Podesta's kids, and John Podesta is the guy behind Pizzagate, which is another tinfoil hat whole thing that around child trafficking and weird stuff that happened a few years ago with Hillary Clinton. All like it's. I'm not talking about all now, but what I'm trying to say is that each of these guys all have little separate conspiracy theory storylines, plus this big one that tie them all together that you can't find information on just by simple Google searches, which makes me question why that is. Now, there's a very good chance it's just because it's poppycock. Like I said, I don't even know how these started, at least for the Paul Walker stuff. I know the Linkin Park guy, again, that's been going around, like that story's been going around for years. But the Paul Walker stuff, yeah, it could just very well be like some idiot just mentioned it on a Reddit post one day just to stir the pot. And that is literally how it started. And that's why there's no information out there, because it started and ended with that lie. Could be. And I'm open to that idea. But I'm also open, I don't trust anything anymore. That's probably a gift and a curse. That's a good and bad thing on my part. So I'm still going to want to investigate and be curious about it until somebody comes knocking on my door and tells me to stop because they're going to, do bad stuff to me if I don't stop. But that's what I've heard about that conspiracy with Paul Walker. If I find more out, obviously this is, the LPDS is where I go to talk about this stuff with you guys, so you can laugh at me for being a crazy person, and that's fine because it's entertaining. So anyway, thanks for the calls. Thanks, Bone Crusher, for that call. Thank you, 7-Eleven guy and Mickey, for, toughing it out and calling in when you know that you stink and everyone's going to hate on you. Keep up the good work in that regard. So thank you for that. Now let's get into the good stuff. Finally, let's step into the cage.
Okay, let's run.
All right. Today's Into the Cage segment is proudly sponsored by Yenta Alert. Terrible name. Do you dread leaving your house and venturing out in your neighborhood because you constantly get sneak attacked by the old gossipy geriatrics who bend your ear about the dirt around the local HOA and also spread rumors about you behind your back? Then download the Yenta Alert app today. Yenta Alert is an all-new app that maps out all the gossipy Yentas in your neighborhood and even provides real-time alerts to you when a Yenta leaves their property to head in your direction. So now you'll be able to duck and dive and slip these dastardly old bags and not have to fear leaving your home again. So to get ahead of the Yentas today, visit www.boobieslaw.com. And if you use the promo code Meshuggah, you'll get 29% off the app download. Anyway, these stink. Anyway, the cage fact. There is an apartment complex in Eugene, Oregon. I call it Oregon, but apparently people say it's Oregon. Doesn't matter to me, whatever you want to call it. For years, people have been hanging like shower curtains and cloths with Nic Cage's face on over the walls of this apartment, and it became like a little bit of a fun, like a cult part of the town in this town of Oregon. And finally, last week, a guy decided to paint a mural of NC onto the big side wall of the apartment to forever implant the Great One on this apartment complex and for the town of Eugene, Oregon. So I don't think, and there was no information on whether NC is tracking this himself, but they interviewed the guy. He said there was, it's been going on for years, even growing up. The Nic Cage stuff, there was like a lore going on in the town that somebody put like a shower curtain. They hung a shower curtain over their balcony with Nic Cage on it, which I probably know what shower curtain they're talking about because I seen them online. And actually, Nikki Sticks, his roommate, had one in their apartment back in the day. But he said the lore, that Nic Cage lore in Oregon because of this apartment was all around him growing up. So he felt like, I want to implant this forever. I want to make a statement and a real tribute. So he painted his face on it, the whole wall. Big mural, Nic Cage, the Great One, on there in Eugene, Oregon. And I don't have a lot of good things to say about Oregon. And it's mainly because Portland exists. Portland brings down the entire state. It makes everybody have a bad taste in their mouth about Oregon. But the rest of the state apparently is awesome. A lot, like if you like outdoor stuff, I'm a big outdoors guy, and they're like, it's perfect for that. Hiking, woods, hunting, fishing, all this stuff, skiing, whatever. So it's nice to hear that, this is a positive mark for Oregon, like to bring back their reputation for outsiders, people outside of the state. Look up Eugene, Oregon instead of Portland, Oregon, and you'll get the pictures of the Great One instead of anything else now. So it was nice to see that. But that's it. That's the Cage fact. They're spreading, he's so popular and so great that these seemingly like remote parts of the country that shouldn't even have electricity know about him and worship him and appreciate him. So I hope that continues around the country and around the world because he deserves it. He deserves nothing less than he should be, in my opinion, and this is going to hurt some Swifties, even though I'm with you. He should be more popular than T Swift, but he doesn't have the marketing and business prowess, and it's a different industry, so it's a little it's a little different to do that stuff. She's the king of that. He is not the king of that portion of his life, but he's a great one and everything else. So he should be the biggest worldwide thing ever. It's crazy to me that he's not, just based on reputation alone. But here we are. No shade to Taylor Swift. Don't come at me, Swifties. We're good. We're all good. Anyway, that's the Cage fact. All right, move over to the Junction. We'll spin the logo up. I should have talked about zombie stuff and hotline calls in the Junction, but I jam-packed all this stuff into this one episode because it's a timing thing, a current events sort of thing that, if I waited one more week about the zombies, maybe it would have been as interesting to you guys. Also, I want to talk about latest Hallmark movie updates. And that's unfortunately, even though I that's a holiday thing that I want to discuss now before it becomes a moot point, if you will, because there's still a chance for things to change and improve because it's early on in the Christmas season, early on in the holiday season. We're not even at Thanksgiving yet, but they're playing their Christmas movies now, Hallmark, and I've been watching them, obviously. So I didn't want to wait. I wanted to jam all this stuff in there, and so you got an extended all-in-one episode of the LPDS this week. But I have a couple of bones to pick with the Hallmark Channel. First and foremost, somebody respond to my emails. That's just rude. I know you're busy and I am the business side of the house. Like, you have the right to not respond to anything. And I get it. And there are some correspondence and emails and messages I get that I don't respond to, but I also do decipher between the spam and real people actually reaching out. If it's a real person reaching out, even if I'm not interested in what they're selling, I'll quickly respond, no, thank you. Spam, I don't respond to. Frauds and scammers, I don't respond to. Even if it's a real person behind the scam, I don't respond to it unless I'm trying to exact revenge, like with Silver Ridge Construction and Mike Ramsey, or whatever the hell his name was, Owen Ramsey. So please, I email all the time offering up my services to help you punch up some of these scripts and storylines, especially with the military stuff. So answer the emails. With that, my next bone is you still need to punch up your storylines. And when I say punch up, I mean a lot of things. First, this relationship that you have with the NFL, cut it after this year. It's been a good run, 3 or 4 years of NFL sponsored. I know it's a money thing. This is one of my worries, is that you're getting way too corporate focused and money focused and not sticking to what made you so popular in the first place, which is these cheesy made-for-TV movies. But we got, I think 2 years ago was an Philadelphia Eagles like themed Christmas movie. Last year was the Chiefs. This year it's the Bills, called Holiday Touchdown. Bobby Bacala is actually in it, so he'll be a good part in it. Stop it. Okay? We're done. We're tired of it. It's nice that you had the ability to build this contract, to create this contract with the NFL, be able to use their actual likeness and their teams and stuff. But the stories are so poorly manufactured and unrealistic. It's taking you way away from what made you guys great. Yes, your movies are unrealistic and they're cheesy and they're not exactly how they are in real life, but there is an element in there that makes people like wish, I would love to have this type of Christmas where I end up with my soulmate and we're drinking hot chocolate in front of a Christmas tree at the market or whatever, at the Christmas market. That was the charm behind it. Like, yeah, these movies stink and they're silly and cheesy, but they're also fun, and you can think about that lifestyle, that dream life. That's what Christmas is all about. Dreams and I don't want to say fantasy, but dreams and fantasy and things of that nature. This corporate copy paste, like Holiday Touchdown, it's basically the same story as the last two, just with different jerseys this time. And those particular stories it's whatever. Like, people are over that stuff. You want to do copy and paste? Go back to copy and paste and the cheesy shit that we always had. The city girl comes back to her hometown and shacks up with the lumberjack that she liked in high school, or the people, a guy and a girl bump into each other and they're fighting and they find out that they're corporate enemies with each other and they end up falling in love at the end. Or somebody gets stranded and they get, picked up and saved by a guy or a gal and they fall in love. Somebody signs up to be a nanny for the royal palace of a made-up country, and she ends up marrying the crown prince because he needs to have a wife so he could take over the land. Whatever. There were like 3 or 4 general storylines that were copy and paste every year, but we were here for that shit. Yeah, that's what I want to punch up. I think we can punch those storylines up and make them even more enjoyable for people, but still keep that charm and the cheesiness of it all. That's what I keep emailing you about punching up. The NFL stuff, cut it. You take your cash and cut it. Because you're going to get to a point very soon after this year where you're peaking. Now it's going to be a diminishing returns on the NFL partnership because people are over it already. So cut it while you're ahead now, and focus back on what made you great was the charm and the cheesiness. My other problem is their military movies or anything that has a military element in them are their biggest stinkers. Absolutely biggest stinkers because they have zero realism whatsoever. At least with some, like with other movies and TV shows, at the worst, you were going to at least get like the right ranks and a real uniform and how it's worn and this and that. And then eventually, like, we actually started getting much better in movies and TV shows because they have real military members as consultants now for these movies and shows, so that you're getting someone in there as a realistic element. That's what I want to do for you, Hallmark. Just to help a little, we can still keep the cheesy storylines that don't make sense and aren't real life, but people are drawn to and enjoy. But you lose people with the military stuff because it's so crazy and ridiculous that you're almost making people like hate the military because of it. You're like, this is our military, we're screwed. And that's not the case. I'm telling everybody else who watches these, don't believe if you never served and this is what you're getting your like the military perception on, don't buy it. It's trash. I just watched one. It's from last year, I think. Maybe it's from earlier this year. I don't know. About these Marines. And it was Christmas time, and they had these 2 Marine like officers, like mid-level like captains, like company grade officers who were in for 8 years already as officers. And they were getting punished because at the holiday party, they were arguing with each other. A female captain and a male captain were arguing with each other, and they accidentally knocked down the Christmas ball, the military holiday party cake, into the colonel's face. So they got punished by they go like, you have to go, now you have to be on watch on Christmas. You have to stand watch on base. They said they were at Quantico on watch. Now, the Marines are at Quantico, but first of all, I said first of all already. Second of all, they were filming at some place in the mountains. Like Quantico, it's not surrounded by mountains like this had you believe. Second of all, they're not going to have, third of all, I don't know what of all on that, but you're not going to have 2 captains go stand watch like that. That's unfortunately, those are what the enlisted folks, the young enlisteds do who live on the base in the barracks. They're doing the watches and stuff like that. And then there's this whole situation where the entire neighborhood on base, the families who live on base, the military families who live on base, they all happen to order their gifts online for their kids the week of Christmas, and there was a snowstorm. So the entire street, 150 kids and gifts, 150 of them, I'll tell you how I know that in a sec, found out that their gifts were not going to get there till after Christmas. They had to cancel all their orders because of the snowstorm, and they couldn't deliver those gifts. So 150 gifts, kids were going to get no gifts on Christmas. Another unrealistic thing. You think an entire neighborhood of, like, there are some stupid people in the military, and there are definitely some stupid spouses of military members. Dependopotamuses are definitely one in that grouping, for sure. The military is definitely a microcosm of the world around us, of the country, of the demographic. So in that, we're just a smaller version of the real world, of the rest of the world, where there's going to be highly capable, above average, average, below average, complete fucking idiots and criminals and bad people, all that. That's it. But to tell me there's an entire neighborhood that lives on base where there's only the stupid, idiot military members and spouses and families on that base, all the smart ones who plan ahead and prepare ahead of time, they're not part of this story. The entire neighborhood is all the idiots who decided to wait till the last minute to order their gifts to get the day before Christmas to wrap and give to their kids and tell them it was Santa Claus. That's not how it is with the military. Especially on a base, because you're going to have, like, the base commanders living on the base. They got a house on base. The higher-ups, the super higher-ups will get offered these nice base housing situations. So unless the commander is also a nincompoop, that's not gonna be a real thing. Anyway, the storyline of stupidity continues. They find out, like, it's 150 gifts that the two people on watch come up with this idea. Well, we'll take this half, deuce and a half, and drive south where the stores are still open, and buy all these gifts. So we're going to inventory who needs a gift. They found out it was 150. And we're going to call ahead, and that was basically most of the movie, was them going around finding these gifts or whatever. Spoiler alert. I should have said that earlier for all the people who get butthurt with Hallmark spoilies. And then something happens where, like, they end up being late Christmas morning because the truck broke down. They got locked out of a building. They were still driving hours south, back from the stores to be able to deliver these gifts, to the kids in the morning. And because they weren't there at 7 a.m. in the morning to deliver the kids the gifts Christmas morning, the colonel was like, well, now you're not going to get the promotion that I told you I was going to give you. You're not getting that job anymore. And they got punished again for missing. Now, obviously, it all ended hunky-dory because that's what Hallmark does. But, like, you made the military look extra stupid and incompetent and ridiculous. Not that I care that much, because I know the military in general, like, we don't, like, most of the military members were going to be like see that and be like, we don't care. Like, we don't, even if our reputation stinks, we still have a job to do, and they're going to do their job and be fine with it. But it was for the entertainment aspect of it. Again, I'm begging you, answer my emails. Let me come on and help you with these storylines, especially with the military ones. The final one I want to hit on again, I believe I talked about it last year, but I watched this movie again this year. I'm sure there's going to be another one. The culturally specific movies, because Hallmark is definitely going super progressive and woke. That's another thing that I don't like, not because of the political thing, but because they're half-assing it. They're making it unenjoyable. And again, answer my emails. I can help you make these more enjoyable and still push your little progressive slants or whatever. You could still have gay couples and interracial couples and Jewish holiday stories and Indian Christmas stories and all that stuff. We can do it all. You got to stop half-assing these. So they had this Jewish one. It was a Hanukkah-related one the one, if you remember, I talked about a while ago, they had one about the rival Jewish delis. This one was about Hanukkah and how important it is, even though in real life everybody knows that like Hanukkah is not a big holiday for the Jewish people. It's nothing. It's only quote unquote popular because it's around Christmas time. So for the kids, they can give gifts, but their big holidays are not even Hanukkah's not even on their radar for big holidays in real life. But this is an easy one to make a movie about. And it's so poorly stereotypical. I think, and I said this before, they're definitely listening to like probably just like some white Christian woman or people not in those cultures telling them like this is how Jewish families are. This is what Jewish people do for the holidays. This is how they talk. This is what is important to them. This and that. And then they did the same thing with like the Indian stuff movies that I saw last year. I don't know if they have any of those this year, but they have people outside of that culture and religion writing these scripts and storylines for sure. And they're not doing it. These are unintentionally the funniest satire movies I've seen so far. And they have an opportunity here to actually lean into it and make them drop dead hilarious. Because you have seen movies that make fun of their own, like Mel Brooks does it. He's done it a lot with his movies in the past where he's stereotyping his own Jewish community or whatever, and it's just super funny. Hallmark has an opportunity to do this if they need my help. They need to call me in, and I'll get my team of Jewish friends to come, because you're on the cusp of something really great and funny, especially with these Hanukkah and Jewish movies, because you're checking all the boxes of propaganda, stereotypical Jewish stuff. And that's how I know you're getting information from outside sources and not from the Jewish people themselves. Because this Hanukkah movie was like, oh, the girl main character is a lawyer and the guy main character is a doctor, and he's back up in Chicago to convince his grandfather to sell his bar and retire down in Florida with him and the rest of the family, because that's what Jews do. They retire in Florida. And that is absolutely true. And you can ask any Jewish person, they absolutely have family down in Florida, and we know that. But they would never make a movie talking about that unless they're purposely doing it as to joke about it and make light of it. This movie is not making light of that. They're unintentionally joking about it. They don't even realize they're doing it. And then, like, the girl, she's going to visit her grandmother, but it's her bubby. Bubby's calling. I better answer. Bubby, hi, Bubby. And then they speak in Yiddish words and stuff like that. Like, again, I didn't live 24/7 with my Jewish friends growing up, but even if they called their grandmother Bubby, they never told me. They were never like, oh yeah, my Bubby's coming over. They would be like, no, my grandma's coming over. I call her Bubby, so when I talk to her, that's what like. They never just say, oh, my Bubby's on the line, and I'm like, who? No, they would never do that. But in this movie, they're doing that, and they're joking about like, oh, you better go get this brand of Hanukkah candle because this is the best candle. You got to get cones. No other brand is a good menorah candle. And that's how these two met. That's how the doctor and this lawyer met, because they went to the shop to go find the last pack of Hanukkah candles by Coen Brothers or whatever it was. Again, like, that's crazy. That's a crazy stereotype that you're unintentionally roasting right now. Everything about it was a roast. They're doing, like, they made a joke about like an alcohol joke They specifically said Manischewitz, because Manischewitz wine is again, in the stereotype world, the joke world, that's what you associate with the Jewish people. Oh yeah, you're gonna drink Manischewitz and eat matzahs and spin dreidels, but they're doing this in the movie. It's all real to them. Like, it's all serious stuff. They're not trying to make light of it, but I think they have an opportunity to actually make light of it and make it really funny. But what I'm worried about is if they do that on their own, they're going to ruin it. So they need a real expert like myself and my crew to come in there and make these movies better. Make the military movies better. Make the NFL movies go away. Make their storylines, punch them up a little bit to make the cheesiness better and more effective and fun for everybody. Make the culture movies either less stereotypical or more obvious. This is a joke, and we're here to have fun and joke about this stuff. One or the other. But what they're doing now, I have to imagine the Jewish people are like, what the hell is this, guys? What are you doing? So please answer my emails. Don't make me go to GAF. Don't make me go to Great American Family with, I know Candace Cameron Bure is there. Jessica Lowndes, I love her. She stinks at acting, but she can sing, and she is hot. I think Dana McKellar is there. They're all there. But don't make me go there because they're a little bit too uptight for me, and they're too far behind the power curve right now on their movie quality. They're almost, I can't watch all of them yet. Only the ones with the top dogs that I watch all the way through. The rest are stinking. Maybe I should go to GAF and punch those up and make them watchable movies. GAF, I'll email you more frequently. You also haven't answered my emails, but one of you should answer me and let me help. Let me be a part of something great here. Let me help you make this even greater. Another one more thing I worried about with Hallmark is the product placement. It's that I'm legitimately angry about. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Do you remember in The Truman Show? The movie The Truman Show? I actually just rewatched it recently, where he's in the middle of an argument with his fake wife, where he thought it was his wife, spoiler alert, telling her that he thinks that this is all a setup and he's going crazy, he's losing his mind over it. And the whole time during the argument, she's just like grabbing products and she's like, why don't we calm down by having a nice cup of Joe's Mochaccino? Joe's Mochaccino is the best because it's sweet. And then, that's how bad it is in Hallmark. Truman Show was making a joke about to show this is they were purposely making it fake obvious as a joke to show Truman, you're in a show, you're not in, this is not real life. Hallmark's doing that, not trying to make a joke. They're just trying to weave it in, but it's so terrible. So terrible. They'll be like, oh yeah, let's get some, we got to get some sour cream for this dip or whatever. And they put the sour cream down and then you see them, they put it down on the counter. The actor in the movie turns the container as the camera zooms in on it, and they're still holding it in an unrealistic amount of time. Nobody's putting something down on the counter and then holding it there for more than half a second. They're just putting it down and leaving. They're putting it down, rotating it, holding and bracing it, and then backing off. And then sometimes they're actually saying the thing. They're not saying, hey, can you go get me a Coke real quick? No, they're saying oh man, I really hope Joey brings King's Hawaiian rolls to Thanksgiving because King's Hawaiian rolls are my favorite kind of rolls. I don't like any other rolls but King's Hawaiian rolls. And then all of a sudden Joey shows up. And again, in real life, you're showing up with a bag of crap. If you're bringing food, it's in another bag, and you're carrying the bag. No, Joey shows up with just the King's Hawaiian in his hand. He's like, I got the King's Hawaiian rolls, and he shows it, and the camera zooms in, and he's standing in the foyer of the house like this, And then he pulls it back and he brings it to them. They're like, oh my God, you got the King's Hawaiian rolls. I'm so glad you got King's Hawaiian. They're my favorite rolls, King's Hawaiian rolls. It's so bad. It's ruining the like now all I'm thinking about is like, wow, you are selling out, and I don't even remember what the storyline is. Stop it. You already have commercials. You have a ton of commercials. They're dragging out hour-and-a-half long movies to 3 hours because of all the commercial breaks that Hallmark takes. And they have King's Hawaiian Roll commercials. They have Daisy sour cream commercials. They have all the products that they're terribly inputting into the movies. They already have actual commercials for them. So you gotta stop with the in-movie product placement. It's so disingenuous. It's way too corporate. Like I said, I fear you're going too corporate and you're forgetting what made you popular in the first place. People like the cheesy love stories that are not really realistic. People like seeing the big city girl fall for the small town guy and give up her $1 million career for it. Or breaking up with her boyfriend of 2 years who missed Christmas Eve. He missed the ball, the holiday promenade because he had an interview for a job that was going to make him $3 million a year as a tech geek and a CEO in New York City to make your life better. We want to see that girl break up with him to go date the coffee shop owner whose grandfather passed down the coffee shop to him in the middle of nowhere, Washington State. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see that guy holding up a bag of King's Hawaiian rolls for 12 seconds and then try to make this thing look realistic. That's not how it works. Okay? Stop getting too corporate. Just have regular commercials. All right? You're on TV. We already know ahead of time that there's going to be commercials. And I know another reason why you're going to make the excuse while you're doing it because you're going to say, well, we stream it on Hallmark Plus the day after these premiere, and there's no commercials on Hallmark Plus, so this is our way of getting our payments or whatever. Shut up. Okay? Nobody wants it. It ruins the movie inside the act. When people are watching it, it ruins the movie. Okay? You want to go and put, one set of ads in the middle of your streaming, in the middle of movies like Amazon does it, like other streaming platforms have done it in the past, or that offer up, if you pay $1 more a month, you get commercial, no commercials or whatever. Do that. But the in-movie product placement and talking about it, like, you're legitimately taking away from the story. So, am I still going to watch all this shit? Yeah. I can't get enough of it, especially since they'll premiere a new movie during the weekends. Like Saturday, Sunday, they'll premiere new movies. And then the rest of the time is replays. So, there's plenty of the old original Hallmark cheesy shit that I will have on in the background all day, every day, and enjoy it. But you're going down a dangerous path of caring more about profits and then an experience, and you're forgetting how you got popular in the first place. You want to profit? Focus on what got you successful already, the people who watched your movies. If you get away from why they watched your movies, you might as well have a whole movie of just in-movie product placement. And you better get deals with all the big sports, because that's the only reason why you're going to make money is if they pay you to have a movie where it's just a guy and a girl sitting in Yankee Stadium watching the Christmas football game that Yankee Stadium puts out there, the Pinstripe Bowl, and they're sitting there drinking Coors Lights and Swiss Miss hot cocoa and eating Nathan's hot dogs and having King's Hawaiian rolls on the side and using Gould's mustard and Heinz ketchup and Coca-Cola Classics and Nike sneakers while they're leaning on the stadium seats And that's it. That's the movie. There's no dialogue. There's no nothing. They're just, the only dialogue is them saying, hey, can you pass me that Coors Light? Hey, can you pass me that Coca-Cola? Can you pass me that Swiss chocolate, hot chocolate? Ooh, I hope it doesn't rain so I don't get my Nikes dirty on this stadium seat. Man, I'm so happy we're at Yankee Stadium watching the Pinstripe Bowl. Do you think I have time to go over there and get an A1 steak sauce steak at the stand there and wash it down with a Nathan's Hot? That's what the movie is going to be. Because you're going to lose your audience. And that's the only way you're going to be able to actually make money is making all these brand deals. Playing for nobody. And that's only going to last you 1 year before the brands are like, nobody's watching this shit. We're out. We're not giving you money for nobody to watch your movies and pay us to go eat our Nathan's hot dogs. That's not how sponsorships will work. So, long story short, answer your damn emails. Let me help you. I love you guys. I like Gaff too. I like you guys more. I'm more privy to you, but you're falling off. You're going down a dangerous path that never ends well for TV stations. You can look at all of them. Look how Disney had to backtrack from their corporate greed. Every corporation that puts out shows and movies and media like that, it never ends well for them. So we have an opportunity to prevent it from ending poorly for you guys. Just answer the emails I send you. Respond to me, please. And that's all I got to say about that. Before we go, very quickly, the big three, the 3 pillars to staying strong, being a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being, be able to spread that positivity and goodness to all those around you and throughout the land. Number 1, exercise every day. Do at least one thing each and every day to focus on improving your fitness and health physically, mentally, or emotionally. Number 2, the hardest one to do, don't be a shitty person, be a kind person. When the opportunity arises to be negative and angry and shitty, take the LPDS step back, detach from those negative emotions, and just remove yourself from the situation. I actually saw a video that Gary Vaynerchuk put out there, essentially saying the same thing. I'm going to stitch it and tell him, hey, that's part of the big 3, Gary V. You're stealing. But he said it, hey, anybody who has ever commented on somebody else's video or posted on your story at somebody online, on YouTube, in the comments, on Instagram, whatever, something negative and shitty, calling them out, throwing hate, throwing shade. He goes, right now, like, put your hand up and say, I've done it before, I've committed this before, and that I'm not going to do it again. And he goes, I promise you stop doing that one thing, your entire life's going to get better. He's right. He's definitely listening to the big 3. It's very hard to do. It's easier said than done, but he's right. Number 3, the most important one, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good you have in your lives. And you can do this by just thinking about one thing each and every day that's good in your life and what your life would be like without that. And that'll put you in that state of gratitude. And when you're in that state of gratitude, it's much easier to remove yourself from the shitty, negative situations so that you can go focus on more positive, productive things like exercising every day. And if you do these 3 things a little bit each and every day and a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, consistency, I promise you'll be a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being. You'll be able to spread that positivity and goodness to all those around you and throughout the land. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe and put your notifications on and tell your friends and enemies. And hit that hotline, 202-670-1114. Let me know what you think about Mickey and 7-Eleven guy. Keep coming with those awesome questions, too. The bad impressions, the good impressions, the bits, the jokes, everything. I'm here for it. 202-670-1114. Thank you guys again. I love you all. Stay strong.